Hello and welcome to Open Soda. Today we're going to be doing a how-to video on how to make your very own open soda at home. Today we're working on cola. This is based on the original open cola documents that you can find on the web. However, our research found a couple problems with the original steps, and we started working on our own methodology and flavors, which is why we started going with the open soda to separate ourselves from open cola, because it is a vastly different recipe that we follow. The first things you might notice if you compare the open cola list versus the open soda cola is lavender, nutmeg, and what's the other one here? Coriander oils. Don't even bother buying these, okay? These are, the other one is neroli, but neroli is extremely expensive, and we don't even know what it costs, tastes like, because we're not going to buy it. It's like 50 bucks for a bottle like this. Granted, we don't use much of this at all, but we don't think it's worth it. So these were called for in the original open cola, because there's evidence that they're in the original Coca-Cola recipe, or the current Coca-Cola recipe. However, these, if they are in there, are in such tiny, minuscule quantities that we can't duplicate that at home, and they frankly taste disgusting. The oils that we do use is lemon oil, orange oil, grapefruit oil, lime oil, and cinnamon oil. Cinnamon oil is also called cassia oil, but we use Lorraine oils, and they have cinnamon, not cassia. It's essentially the same thing. There's slight differences. We have both a cassia oil from another company and the cinnamon oil, and we fill the cinnamon oil from Lorraine. It has a much closer taste note to what's in Coke and Pepsi. You might have noticed I said grapefruit oil, which is not listed on the original open cola. We feel it is in there. One of my jobs in the team is to taste the original products and compare it against the flavor oils and see what's in there, as I have a very sensitive taste, sense of taste. And I'm quite convinced that grapefruit oil is in there, and it adds a nice flavor to, in our opinion. So today we're going to be working on the 2-liter test batch size. We have 2 sizes listed in our documentation. For more information, go to our website, opensoda.org. Has all the documentation that we'll be using today, as well as this video, other videos, other links to other products, and other groups that are involved in the same type of research as us. So one nice thing about the test batch size, the original open cola had, you made this formula, flavor formula, took a little bit of that, made a syrup batch, took a little bit of that, and then made your final products. We found this to be extremely confusing, complex, and unnecessary. So we pretty much from start to finish just start with what we're going to use for our final batch and end up with a final batch, with the exception of 2 things, which I'll get to. So the nice thing about the 2-liter batch size is that if you multiply the 2 liters by 10, you get 20 liters, which is almost identical to 5 gallons, which is the keg size that we use to push cola at events. And the reason we call ourselves another reason we call ourselves open soda is that we have more flavors than just cola. And you can find all that those recipes on opensoda.org as well. So today, like I said, we're going to make the 2-liter batch size. We use, to do our oil measurements, a pipette. Now, everything you do when you work with the flavor oils has to be glass or metal. One of the first attempts to make open cola, we used plastic, and then found bits of floating plastic in the final product. I threw that batch away and treated it better. So we went out and bought lab supplies. The pipettes are very expensive. if you buy it online. Fortunately, we had a friend of ours who had picked up a large quantity at a supply store for relatively cheap. So hopefully you can find one for relatively cheap. Otherwise, you have to buy one online. This is a 1 milliliter pipette. Right here to here is 1 milliliter. It's graduated by tenths of a milliliter. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, blah, 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 blah. And then those are graduated to tenth or a hundredth of a milliliter. So each of the one is broken in 10, and then those 10 are broken in 10. So it's 100. It's very, very difficult to actually get a hundredth of a milliliter measured this way, but it works pretty good. So now let me zoom in here for you. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. What I have here working with is I have my oils, and I lay out my oils based on which ones I'm going to use in what order on the worksheet. I find it just makes things much easier that way. You want to make sure you have a glass container to put the oils into. Make sure it's nice and clean. This one's not nice and clean. So, excuse me just a moment. I'm going to go clean this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I now have a clean glass container. We have these nice little 50 milliliter size glasses, which we found works beautiful for putting the flavors oil in. It's got a nice little pour, lab, supply store. So this is what we put our oils in. I also have, the oils are extremely potent. If you get them on the surface, if you happen to get them on your finger, get them on your, I still have the taste of cinnamon from a batch I just did yesterday. It will stay there forever. So make sure you have a surface that you're willing to get dirty, and protect that surface with something. I just have a piece of paper towel down here. It also helps soak up the oils and the water when I clean it. Make sure you have a dish of clean water standing by. You want to clean your pipette between each rinsing. Sometimes I use an ear bulb attached to the back end, and I'll show you that when we do the keg size. But I find for doing the small sizes, just sucking it in works a lot better. So make sure you have your clean water, your oils, and also make sure you have a small little bit of vodka standing by. We'll get to that in just a second.